Speaking of the good weather and people travelling in their droves, it's Brittas Bay that's up next. Jennifer Whitmore is the Social Democrat TD for Wicklow and is with us here too in Lunchtime Live. Jennifer, what's the story there with the traffic?
Good afternoon. Yeah, look, the weather's fabulous, and what we're finding at the moment in Wicklow is that there's huge numbers of people travelling to our beaches here in Wicklow, which is, you look at it's excellent. It's great that people can come to Wicklow and enjoy the really gorgeous beaches we have, but obviously there's traffic problems with that as well. And what we're finding, particularly on beaches like Magheramore or Brittas Bay, where there's no public transport to them, is that we're getting a lot of people driving, and essentially, you know, when they find that they can't get parking down there because there's quite limited parking facilities, they're actually parking on the side of the road, causing huge problems for locals and also for, you know, emergency vehicles getting through. So, you know, we have had a few weeks of very, very serious problems and some you know, very tragic stories where people have actually passed away on the beaches because the ambulances were not, you know, they weren't able to get to them in time. So I think there's, you know, an obvious problem with so much traffic coming down into such small little rural beaches as well.
So you've probably narrow roads, high volumes of traffic, people travelling to the beach, and then are they just abandoning the car then along the roadway?
Yeah, now look, it's certainly a few weeks ago when we had that first really, really hot spell, because I actually got stuck in the traffic there as well with the ambulance trying to get past. It was incredible the way people parked. They had just parked, as you say, they're very narrow roads with sort of grass verges, and people had parked on both sides of the road, essentially turning the road into a single lane. And you had two lanes of traffic trying to get by each other, and that was around the Magheramore area. And it was incredibly dangerous. And there was literally hundreds and hundreds of cars just stuck there. Now, the Gardaí put a lot of effort in, and they're still managing the situation on the beaches, you know, so they came down, they started towing and moving people on. But look, you know, I can feel for people, because I know people are coming from Dublin and they want to get to the beach and they've probably spent an hour and a half in the traffic, and when they get down to the beach and they find there's no parking, they'll just park wherever they can, you know, but obviously there are huge safety issues with that. Okay. And I have been contacted by quite a number of locals as well who are finding it problematic because they can't get out of their driveways. It's so dangerous as you know, there's no paths down there, so children are trying to walk to the beach themselves, and there's just traffic everywhere.
Just Jennifer, stay with us. Just when you talk about locals, Eamon's on the line. Eamon, you live in Brittas Bay. Can you describe the scenes for us there in the past few days?
The past few days, I mean, it's particularly on a Saturday and Sunday when the weather is good. You get huge amounts of traffic coming down. I mean, I live not too far from the beach, and what I do is when I know it's going to be sunny, I plan on not going anywhere because it's almost impossible to get out. The biggest problem is parking, as your other caller said there. But they've opened up extra fields over the last few days, and it has alleviated a lot of the traffic. Like even there today now, the traffic is not so bad. There's plenty of space for people to park. But you know, a few weeks ago when we had the other hot spell, it was it was manic.
What do you mean they opened up a couple of fields?
Well, there's a local landowner that opens up. He owns a lot of the land just opposite the car park down there, and they've opened them up as car parks. They're open today.
Okay, I get you. Yeah. So they make a field available for tourists. Stay with us, Eamon. Elaine is on the line as well. Elaine, you too are a local resident near Brittas Bay. Have you been blocked in to your house as a result of all of this?
Yeah, we have, and look, we're used to this. This happens, regularly. But people at the same time are very entitled to their day at the beach, and God love them. Like, you feel sorry for them coming down. They don't know that the car parks are full when they get here, and where are they to go? You know, it's very difficult for people. Like, I met one woman a few weeks ago during that very hot spell in June, at the end of June, and she had driven 3.5 hours from Kildare to be here. When she was sitting in traffic outside her gate, she had nowhere to go. She had screaming kids in the back, and God love her, like, she didn't know that when she got here the car parks would be full. So we need to accommodate people. We can't tell people not to come. We can't tell people that they can't abandon their cars in the ditches, even though it makes it very difficult for people and for emergency services. But when they get here, they have no option.